Sports Rewind Digital, we're live tonight. BJ, I'm not sure where BJ is tonight. He may jump on. Davo is out of action tonight. Got a bumper show for you. We're going to have Mitch from the Speed Bowl up at Lake Liddell and a couple of drivers before the New South Wales Titles this weekend. We'll also have NBL, NBA, some ABL baseball, and some NFL to cover out at the end of the show, depending on whether BJ makes it. But we're going to get Mitch from the Speed Bowl on the show first and have a bit of a chat about the Speed Bowl. Mitch, how are you, mate?
Hey, mate. How you going? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries, mate. The Speed Bowl. Tell us a little bit about where it is and what it is.
The Speed Bowl is about probably 10 or 12 k's south of Muswellbrook in the Upper Hunter Valley. And basically, it's the one-off track in Australia. There's nothing else like it. It was purpose-built for micro sprints and go-kart racing. And, you know, since we first started, there's plenty of people to throw mud at us, so to speak. Didn't agree with the concept, told me it was never going to work. We were crazy, but here we are with some of the biggest car counts in New South Wales. Go-kart racing with, B mains regularly, so the support's there, and it's great to see speedway racing alive and well in the Hunter Valley again.
Absolutely, mate. I grew up going to Tomago with my brother, the Friday nights and the Australia Day, the Super Sedans, USA versus Australia and all that. And I can't even remember how I seen that you had something on. And I went up to the micro sprints. I think must have been 8 weeks ago or something when you had the fireworks on up there. Yeah. And absolutely loved it. I first got there and I was like, whoa, this track is like so small compared to what I'd seen. And mate, unique, all right. It is unreal to watch. You can see every single part of the track. You're right on top of the action and absolutely loved it. So
yeah, look,
great.
That's part of the problem. People are so set on seeing their 400-meter plus tracks, especially around New South Wales, that when they see something different, instantly they say, oh, that won't work. That's, it's mind over matter. And I think we've proven that point many times over now. So if you are in the Newcastle Hunter Valley Basin, and you think you know better, just put your pride aside for one night and just come and check it out. What do you got to lose?
Absolutely.
It's open wheel speedway racing in the valley.
And close racing. That's what I love about it. Everything's so close. You've got the leading cars always, approaching lap cars and there's always action. Always action.
At our Power Eye Nationals at June long weekend, after 50 long laps, the top 4 came off the last corner. You could throw a blanket over them like there was a crash on the last corner, dicing for the lead after 50 laps. You don't see that stuff anywhere else.
Yeah.
And it's grassroots too. The go-kart guys, they have their own fan base. Like where else do you have go-kart racing where they have their fans and people come along and buy a ticket to watch go-kart racing?
Yeah.
It's cool.
Unreal. I watched the karts, I think it was last weekend that they were up there and they were good fun to watch. I hadn't seen a lot of them, so that was fun. What other divisions or classes run up there, mate?
The junior go-karts are a big part of what we do. I think last time we ran the junior karts, there was about 20 of them turned up, so that's, always good for them. The outlaw karts, they're only a fairly new division. They're kind of struggling to get going a bit, but they're finding their feet. But our micro sprints is, that's what we're built on. We have had numerous big cars, so to speak, get around, including the V6 wingless sprints, AMCAs. I've had street stocks get around. There's all sorts of interest from a lot of people. The naysayers are pretty quick to jump on it, but the guys are out there willing to give it a go and have some fun and change the way they drive and change their mindset. They love it. It's the negative people that, they can make up their own mind. That's cool.
Yep.
The numbers speak for themselves. The crowds are good every week. The car counts are good every week. people are having fun.
Yeah. Mate, any sport, you're going to get all those naysayers. I know you growing up playing baseball too, but playing baseball, there's always, someone talking crap about something or whatever it is. Just go out there, do your thing.
I
And
think negativity in any sport, whether it be motor racing or baseball or kids cricket or whatever, it's an ego that needs to stop, and it's no good. It's no benefit to anyone or anything. There's people out there spending countless hours to make these events happen for people to nitpick on the smallest, pickiest, littlest things, and it doesn't help any sport or any volunteers or anything like that. So if you are one of those narrow-minded, nitpicking people, wake up to yourself.
I love it. So true, though. So true. Mate, big family environment up there. Like I talk about, kids in the crowd and stuff like that. My kids ran amok on the hill, and we watched a bit of Speedway and had some hot chips and some fairy floss and all the things up there, mate. But it's also a pretty big family atmosphere in the pits. I noticed that, lots of sons and daughters are racing, and their parents might be racing the micros and they're racing karts. Is
absolutely.
That big part of the culture up there, I think?
It's a big part of what we wanted to achieve. It was part of our vision. Speedway, for the most part, it has been a little bit stale where the families can't get involved. So if dad wants to race his car, mum and the kids have got to sit on the hill. Well, we want to include them. And when they're included and they're working on dad's car or they're in the trailer, they want to get involved themselves. And then before you know it, they're old enough for a go-kart and up they go. So if the kids are having fun, mum and dad want to come back, and that's all about part of the atmosphere. And, we want the kids there. We want them on the hill dancing. We want to have their smiling faces, because without it, what's the point? It's got to be fun for everyone.
Absolutely. No, I agree. Big weekend for you guys this weekend, weather permitting. New South Wales Titles, I think they've predicted a monsoon to come through over the next couple of days, mate.
There's only 50 mil of rain in 3 days. That's all right.
Yeah, no. But New South Wales Titles this weekend, how many cars lined up for that?
We got 25 non-wing 600 micros, and I mean some of the best in the business. We've got 23 go-karts, and the junior micro sprints and the 270s of 6 or 7 each. So they're still, they're still growing. They're fairly new in New South Wales and growing, but our two main categories are definitely oversubscribed. So you got all those vehicles going for 18 spots in the A main, and there can only be one winner. Anyone that's watching that was there last year, it was the clash of the speed car drivers, Nathan Smee and Matt Smith. They had a hell of a battle, and then had some pretty serious words on the infield after the race, and it was all quite exciting. But that builds the atmosphere and rivalries, and if there isn't rivalries and people don't get heated, they're probably not that fair income about racing. So we don't mind that. We just got to keep it sensible.
Absolutely. Hey, you mentioned their non-wings, and I know last week they raced with the wings on. What's the difference? I know obviously the car's going to handle differently, but why do we have the winged and the non-winged?
Look, we are the only track in Australia at the moment currently running non-wing micro sprints. It's based out of the US. It's what the huge car counts are. The racing's closer. There's less wear and tear on the engines. If you happen to have a small crash, you're not up for $1,500 in the top wing plus all the hardware that bolted on. And there's probably going to be some people that disagree with me, but it probably takes a lot more effort to wheel a non-wing car around fast as what it does with the wing on. The wing creates downforce and sticks the car to the track. So the overall lap times and the speeds are a lot faster, but the cars are more glued to the track. They're not, they're not moving around as much. So with the non-wing stuff, it's, we've seen racing there 4 wide quite often, and cars up against the wall. And if they do happen to roll over, which happens fairly regularly, as you've probably seen, a lot of the time we can push them back on their wheels and off they go again. So It's definitely a culture from the US, and we've just taken the ball and run with it, and it's been hugely successful. Some of the purists may not agree with it, but that's cool. Again, not for everyone.
Yep. So you guys are the only track that run the wingless.
Correct. We have done a couple of meetings in Victoria. There's other tracks that call me every week that want to do something. But with the non-wing micro sprints, they're only small cars. They don't have huge tubing. So to go and put those cars on a 400-meter speedway without the wing on would be pretty silly on my part to do so. So we're in talks with many different tracks, but we got to make sure it's right. Keep the drivers safe. Keep the product what it should be without letting it get out of hand. Keep it fun, affordable, all that kind of stuff.
Love it, mate. Going forward, you've got New South Wales Championships this week, and then you're going to have a break till after Christmas. What's happening after Chrissy?
Look, on paper, we've got a break for 2 months, but anyone that follows our Facebook page will know we're building a Speedway motorcycle track too. So we're pretty excited for that. Again, it's something that's never been done in Australia. It's a copy of what they call Costa Mesa in California.
Yep.
And it is a tiny little track. And I've already had the messages and the naysayers, it's no good and it's too small. And I say, hey, they've been doing it over there for 60 years. If they can do it and you can't, well, that's probably a reflection of you. So we're going to be working hard on that. We're going to try, when I say try, we mean try to get a couple of practice days in on the bike track.
Yep.
We may run some go-kart and micro sprint fun days, but as far as racing competition, this weekend will be the last weekend. And to some people, that may seem a little bit silly that, hey, Christmas, New Year period is the peak for Speedway. Why are you having a break? Simple thing is everyone needs a break. I need a break. The drivers, their families, the volunteers, focus on Christmas, spend time with your family, enjoy some time away, come back fresh first weekend of February, and we'll do it all again.
Yeah. Love it. Got to have a break. I agree. We
keep everyone fresh.
Have that little bit of break over Christmas time, but I do like that extended break. And a lot of the time it's really storm season as well over that time. So there are those chances.
Crazy hot, crazy wet.
Yeah.
And let's face it, by the time people knock off work, get through Christmas and into January, we're only a couple of weeks will be Australia Day, and then we're back into it.
Yeah.
It'll come around in no time. So.
All right, mate. Good luck for the weekend.
Hopefully.
So Friday there's practice and Saturday racing. Is that correct?
Yeah, Saturday from 6 o'clock will be the racing. There is practice Friday. They never get huge attendance. People have got to get from Sydney or wherever they're coming from. So generally a lot of the locals, but stay up to date on our Facebook page. That's the best thing for anyone to do that's following this. Lake Liddell Speed Bowl on Facebook. There is a couple of scam accounts out there, so make sure it's the real one. We don't send friend requests. And keep up to date, videos, photos, all that kind of stuff, updates on the bike track. Actually, we may have a rally coming up in the new year. So there's all sorts of stuff going on. Whatever we can do, we'll be doing it.
Love it. Hey, before you go too, anyone that is not from the local area, you can camp at the camping grounds next door as well. So
correct,
ground, make sure you book in early for that.
Yes, definitely. Powered sites sell out pretty quick, but we are located inside the Lake Liddell recreation area. And for those of you that have not been there, there's rental carts, there's paintball, there's rock climbing. So make a weekend of it. Go to the Speedway, have some fun with all the activities down there, and camp out with the family and just enjoy time with your family and friends, mate. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. All right, mate. Good luck for the weekend. Make sure you go and check him out on Facebook, and better still, get up there and what was the old ad for the old Newcastle Speedway? Get your backside, trackside.
That's right.
Love that one. So it's
thanks very much for having me, mate.
No worries, mate. Take it easy.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.
Gotcha. Going to get a couple of drivers on now. Just before we do, I do want to thank one of our sponsors, Bucket Golf. Christmas is coming up. Make sure you go and get your Bucket Golf from bucketgolfgame.com. Use the code sportsrewind, or I'll pop the link there in the description. Going to get another driver on now. Haley is lined up, ready to come. She has been waiting back there in the green room. Because Randall's not on here, I don't think he's left anything in the green room. Usually there's some VBs and pies back there, Haley, but I'm not sure there's anything in there. Is there?
No, it's a bit hard rated. Hard
there
solo
you go.
here.
Beautiful. I had a bit of dirty water. I've got BJ's concoction tonight. So, Haley, welcome.
Hello.
You drive the micro sprints as well this weekend, big weekend coming up for you.
Yeah.
How long have you been driving for, and how did you get started?
Driving the micro sprints only been this year. I drove last year in the go-karts, but prior to that, not really. Ever since I've been with my fiance, he kind of got me into the speedway bug, and now I've kind of taken over his shoes.
Love it. So going from karts to micro sprints, is there a big difference?
Most definitely. I feel a lot more safer in the micro sprints because the go-karts are they're full on and very exhausting, and they're fun, but they're definitely very demanding. And then when you get an old micro sprint, it's just completely different.
Yeah. What about handling wise as well? Is it easier or harder to drive a micro sprint over the kart?
Much easier. Much easier.
Power wise, they're heaps more power.
Yeah, most definitely, because you've got an R6 or whatever most of the other boys are running anyway. We're running a dirty old R6 engine compared to a little two-stroke whatever engine they are. They run on the go-karts are definitely a lot bigger, definitely more bigger horsepower, that's for sure.
Yeah. Last weekend, or whenever it was, 2 weeks ago, you got to do the flag lap with another female driver. How cool was that?
That was just very surprising, considering that's the first time we've had the car on this year. We had a bit of delay with the engine and a few body panels and parts and whatnot. So that was the first time we've actually been able to get the car out. But it was quite surprising hearing Mitch go like, "Oh, Haley, stay in your car. You're going to be doing the flag with the other driver." And I was like, "Oh, cool, no worries." And it just caught me by surprise. But it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's always a good experience, anything with that Australian flag and leading it around. So that's awesome. This weekend, state titles. I guess what's your plans and what's your goals for this weekend?
Keep it on the track, keep all four wheels on the ground. Just to finish without crashing it, because I got to the end of the season last year and I got knocked out in the first night by a very impatient driver. But yeah, just finish it, have fun, enjoy. It's all an experience. Like, I'm still new to this, still learning. I'm not really too phased about, oh, I need to come in the first 5 or whatever. It's just enjoying it and having fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said your fiance, that's his car that you're racing.
Yeah,
Is he going to be your pit crew up there and support? Is he the mechanic behind behind your car, or?
He's a mechanic, electrician, the peer support. He's everything. He's everything you could ask for in a pit crew. He's pretty much going to help me along the way.
Awesome. Female driving. Now, I've had a chat with a few female drivers, race car drivers. Our Aussie race car driver, Charlotte Pointing. It is a very male-dominated sport. How do you get around in the pits? Is there any is there anything towards the female drivers, or is it all pretty good in regards to?
No, I think there's a lot of younger generation, like a lot of young girls coming up through go-karts and little box stocks and whatnot. I think the whole stigma around men being racers and women doing whatever else, I think that's slowly starting to be phased out. there is more and more girl races. I work in an all-male industry and have for quite a long time, so I know how to deal with mainly all the blokes anyway. So, but no, I don't think it's an issue. I do know some people get a bit of an ego shock when a girl overtakes you or girl beats you or whatnot. They do get a bit of an ego bruise, but no, I don't think it's a big issue. Not so much anymore.
It's awesome to hear because I know Charlotte was saying with the Aussie race cars there was a fair bit of that going on still, and it's pretty sad because I mean anyone can play any sport these days, so it is great to see. This weekend, mate, so state titles, looking to keep upright on the track and have some fun. This is obviously your first. Is this your first state title? It's been your first year, so that's pretty cool. Family and friends going up to watch?
I think I've got some family. I do definitely have some friends that are going up there pretty much the Saturday and the Sunday, hopefully to see the kids on Sunday as well. But yeah, no, just a normal fan club. A couple of work colleagues will probably be out there, or mainly all my sponsors will be out there as well watching. But yeah, no, it'll pretty much everybody that I could drag along will be dragged along.
Awesome. Give your sponsors a plug. Let's hear who's helping you out.
Leroy from the Plumber Gas and Contracting Co. I've got Kawasaki Connection at Cessnock, Inside Graphics at Singleton, and Kaiser's Powder Coating at Singleton and Tomago.
Awesome. And it's always good to hear, sponsors looking out for some people because it is a costly sport. We were talking earlier, and an average Joe to jump into a kart, like you say, I wanted to jump in, you're saying bottom of the line, looking at 20 to 25 grand. So obviously lots of costs when you break things and need new tires and all the things. So that is pretty cool that a few people are looking after you.
It's definitely good. Like all of these guys that help me are all local and they just want to help out local people. Like Kaiser, he races AMCA cars himself, so he knows how it all goes. But it's just local people looking after local people pretty much.
Yeah, that's awesome, mate. Well, good luck for the weekend. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. And
no worries.
Look forward to seeing you go around on the weekend.
No worries. I'll see you then.
Thanks, Ali. Take it easy.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah. Next one I'm going to get on, I've got one more driver, a young fella. He's a Newcastle local fella as well. I watched him race last week and he won one of his heats. And I'm not sure how old this young fella is, but he's surely turning on. Let's get Kane Jakes on. Kane, how are you, mate?
Good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. In Race HQ there, I can see the car in the background. And what's that, a Outlaw card in the background too?
Yeah, the blue one's an Outlaw cart.
Yeah, nice. So is that where you started, mate? Outlaw carts?
Yeah, well, I originally started in tar go-karts when I first started racing. Started in that. Raced a couple of them. Got a good win in the wet one time when it was raining. Then Jobbo, one of Dad's mates, asked if I wanted to have a go in one of the Outlaw carts. And I thought, why not? May as well have a go at the opportunity, and didn't mind it, so I thought I'd do a race. Done a race and ended up winning that race. So did
Awesome.
Another one, was state title, ended up winning that too. So thought I'd just stick with that because I was doing it right in it.
Good stuff.
A few races in the Outlaws and then got into the micros and just went from there.
So, mate, the Outlaw carts, what's the difference going from the your first lot of carts to the Outlaw carts? Was there a big difference?
It was a pretty big difference, yeah. Just completely different track layout, obviously, from tar go-karts into them. Yeah. But a lot of different setup, like setup's completely different from everything else, and a lot to learn, but just figuring out as it goes, still figuring everything out in these other ones, and just
And then going from the Outlaw carts to the 600s, was that a big jump?
That was a big difference, yeah. It's a completely different like setup and everything, and driving it's completely different. A lot more control driving then, a lot more throttle control, and thinking about everything you got to do. And yeah, it's definitely a lot harder, but it's fun. It's good.
I watched you racing last week or the week before, whenever it was, and mate, you come out and killed the heat, and then you had a good scrap for second and third there in the feature race. It was a really good battle. What are you thinking when you're driving these karts around at whatever speed they're going? What goes through your mind?
Oh, to be honest, not
Nothing?
much, because you just focus on the race. You did. If you
Yeah.
block out the scary part of it, it's not as bad. But yeah, just
Yeah.
thinking when you're right next to someone, you just got to push past that little bit of fear that's there that you're right next to someone, and just got to drive, got to think about what's going on up ahead of you, avoid a crash and not get in a crash. And yeah, it's a lot going on, but it's all fun. It's nice.
I know last week you had a fair bit of tire racing for second and third. It was pretty cool to watch. I think your dad posted some videos or photos with it, and you were neck and neck the whole way. It was pretty cool,
Yeah.
mate. How did you get involved anyway with the karts to start with?
Well, originally I just Dad used to race karts when he was younger, and he wanted me to get into them, and I was kind of on the edge about it, and just went to the normal electric indoor go-karts a couple times, and liked racing around the track with some people in there. And then I thought, yeah, I'll go into go-karts and give it a go, and enjoyed the whole race and the whole atmosphere of it and everything. So that's why I got into it.
Nice. And it's obviously paying off, mate. You're doing really well and enjoying it. I actually come down to your shed the other day, and absolutely great setup there. And you know, these guys have got a good setup there for all the cars. It'd be pretty cool working on your car with your dad and being down there with your dad. I think that'll be pretty special for him as well. So that is pretty cool. Mate, I talked with Mitch earlier about the wingless. You know, how different is it to drive it without the wing? I know last week you raced really well with the wing on, taking the wing off this week at the New South Wales Titles. What's the difference for you?
Well, with the wing on, it's definitely a lot more planted to the ground. Like, definitely more on rails with the wing. Like, a lot more grip. Without the wing, it's definitely looser, not as fast, and still feels as fast when you're in it. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's different. But it just I haven't really raced wing much. I think I've raced wing twice or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, from the experience I've had in it, it is different. Yeah.
What's your goals for this weekend, mate?
Well, number one, gold, obviously first, but
Yep.
just finish higher up in the field, like top 5 or top 7 or something, just at the nice end, right end of the field. If not, just to at least finish the race and not DNF. That would be the main goal, obviously. But,
Absolutely, mate. Have a blast. I think it's going to be some good battles again this weekend. An 18-car feature race. We hope to see you in the feature, mate. 18 cars at Lake Liddell. How many have you raced with? Have you raced with the full 18 up there before?
Well, I've only ever made it to the A main twice, and the other ones I had B main, which I'm not 100% sure how many cars are in it, but still a lot more than the usual heats, and just gets crowded. It's very crowded on Liddell, but it's good. It's good, tight race, and it's action packed the whole time.
Yeah. Have you raced the micro sprints on any other track other than Liddell?
I went to Gunnedah once, and that was good. It's a lot bigger compared to Liddell, but just didn't really have that good of a run up there because still very new to him, and Chase and setup didn't really know what to do, and I was just not set up for the night. Well, it's way too grippy for the night, but I'd like to get up there again and get to other tracks as I get better, but yeah.
And I was talking to your dad about setup, and he was saying last race how the track changes. Now, for me, having not much background in Speedway, mate, learning about the track changing, and I could see different areas being wet or drying out. And he was saying that you earlier on, you were racing towards the lower part of the track, and that's what you'll set up for. And as that feature race went on, it was sort of middle of the track that was the groove that was sort of the quickest. What happens when you set up for the inside like that and it is quicker on the outside? What happens then? Does the car get a bit looser or is it tighten up? What happens?
When I started going out onto the outside line, I had too much grip. Just getting up on that bit grippier stuff and couldn't push it as hard as I really wanted to because I'd get too much grip and start hopping. But I didn't really try the outside line the whole night really until halfway through that feature race because the inside line was working for me, and then in the last one it wasn't working as well. So I tried different higher line and that seemed to be working better. But yeah, just didn't have the perfect setup. Still learning setup with how the track changes much. Still learning heaps of stuff.
That's good, mate. It's always good to be learning, different things about your sport. And, mate, New South Wales State Titles, I really hope that I can see you in that feature race doing well, mate, just like last week. Good luck, Kane, and best wishes for the future, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for having me on.
All right. No worries. Take it easy. All right, Lake Liddell Speedway. It is on the state titles this weekend. Go up and check it out. That is Kane's car pictured there. Go and check him out. It is worth a look. Now, BJ's not with me tonight to run through the rest of the podcast, but I'm going to run through some of the stuff that I had planned while we're here. The ABL over the weekend has been a one and run, I guess. The ABL started. It's week 2. Canberra took on Adelaide. Let's pull this up 1 second. So Canberra took on Adelaide Giants, and Adelaide Giants lost the first game on the Friday night. Sydney took on Perth Heat, Melbourne, and Brisbane. Took it on down there. I think it was up in Brisbane, actually. Melbourne Aces 3 over Brisbane Bandits 1. It was a double header. Melbourne Aces fought back 8-3. Canberra Cavs in the double header lost the first one. Lost both of them, actually. Sydney Blue Sox in the double header. 6-2 winners in the first one and 3-2 in the second game. Melbourne Aces on the Sunday got done by the Bandits. The Cavs got done by the Giants, and the Blue Sox beat the Perth Heat. Now, another thing I seen on the weekend with the ABL, if you haven't seen this, I know Jared Van Dyke shared it with me. It is pretty cool. If you're a bit of a Scotch drinker or a bourbon drinker, check this one out. It's worth checking out. This is Yes I Am over 18. The partnership with the ABL and the ABL Ned Whiskey looks unreal, and I believe there's only 250 of them. So go and check that out. It is worth a bit of a look. I'm going to jump straight into NFL now. A couple of good games today. My Kansas City Chiefs got out of trouble again. Randall's Ravens take on the Chargers on Tuesday, our time. The Browns got done the Browns beat the Steelers 24-19. JB, you were talking about the Steelers last week, mate. What happened this week? The Chiefs 30 over the Panthers 27. Patrick Mahomes sacked 5 times this week. Brutal. The Vikings 30 over the Bears 27. Titans 32 over the Texans 27. The Lions are still 10-1, 24-6 over the Colts. The Dolphins beat the Patriots. Tua is 7-0 against the Patriots. Buccaneers 30 Giants 7, Cowboys 34 over Davo's Commanders 26. The Broncos beat the Raiders. The Packers in a quality game smashed the 49ers 38-10. Seahawks over the Cards 16-6. The Eagles over the Rams. And there were plenty of teams on a bye. Falcons, Bengals, Jags, Jets, Saints, and the Bills. The Aussie cricket has been absolutely putrid. I don't really want to talk about it much, actually. It was pretty average to see, actually. Let's bring it up here. So Australia bowled India out for 150 and in return scored 104. India come in and scored 487 and declared 6 out, and Aussies all out for 238. 1-0 India in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. It was pretty average viewing. Bring back the Channel 9 boys. I'm over the commentators. And what about this one from Bluey? I really think they should consider Rusty for the next test. I think it is on the cards. All right, I'm going to leave it there for tonight. Have a good weekend. Have a good week, sorry. And next week we'll be back with some more scores and hopefully another guest. All right, if you are going to head up and to see the micro sprints at Lake Liddell, let me know. Looks like I'll be heading up there this weekend, so it'll be good to see you. Take it easy. Have a good week.